right, it looks like we've got quite a good group here joining us today. I really want to thank you for spending your Monday morning with us. And I want to thank you for everything that you guys do as Regional Advisory Committee members. Just to introduce myself, I am Angela Anderson. I joined the Kansas Water Office in May of last year. And prior to that, I had experience as a Regional Advisory Committee member. I served on the Neosho RAC and started there in 2015. And I served as their chair for 2 terms. So a lot of this that we are providing for you today, I know what a lot of you are going through and what your concerns are. And we are here to provide that overview to you as to what your role is. And again, know that we truly appreciate everything that you do. We do try to do this orientation every 4 years whenever a new chair or vice chair is installed. That way it kind of gives you that baseline as to expectations and hopes and goals for the regional advisory committees. And I also want to pass along the message. Dawn Bueller, the Kansas Water Authority chair, she had hoped to be able to join us today, but she has other business to do. And so she just wants to pass along her gratitude and appreciation for everything that you do also. And so with that, I am going to move us straight into Kansas Water Office staff introductions. I know that a lot of times it seems like there's a water office staff that all of a sudden shows up at the Regional Advisory Committee, at the RAC meetings. And it's good to get to know our office staff right off the bat as to those connections that you can have to anything that you might want to know about in Kansas water issues. And everybody on this staff is a resource, and they're a vital resource for you if you have any questions at all. So I am going to, and before they do that, it's always nice in these meetings to introduce ourselves. But since there are so many, I will ask that you put in the chat box who you are and which regional advisory committee you serve on and what role you play as a way of introducing ourselves to each other. Hopefully one day we will be able to get together in person and make those face-to-face introductions. But in the meantime, if you could do it in the chat box. Also, I know that a lot of you served on the Basin Advisory Committee. So if you want to put in how long you have been a part of your region in this capacity, that'd be great. So while you are entering into the chat box, I am going to call on various staff as I see them on my screen, just to kind of do it in a halfway orderly fashion. So first on my screen, I see TJ. If you can turn on your camera and introduce yourself.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I know I did. I got to spend time with my 2 sons. They came back, one from Louisiana and one from Kansas City, so that's not too far, but hopefully you guys had a great time Thanksgiving as well too. So I just want to thank you guys for participating today. I recognize some of the faces and some of the names on here, and I just really appreciate you guys. I continue to say that you guys being involved in water issues across Kansas. It's just, you know, it's one of those things. If somebody like yourselves doesn't pick that up and go with it, it may be dropped. So I just thank you guys for that. My official title is Chief of Planning, but I do all kinds of crazy things. So EPA grants, FEMA grants, water conservation plans, all kinds of different things. So, and basically, like Angela said, we're here to help you guys. So certainly reach out and catch one of us, and we'll get you to the right person. So that's me.
Great, thank you. Josh.
Hello, everybody. Is it coming through?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm Josh Olson. I am the project coordination lead here at the Kansas Water Office. I used to be a planner on the Kansas and Solomon Republican RACs, so have some experience on that side of the world too. Now I'm on H&E, hydrology and evaluation. So involved with a lot of sedimentation projects. I work with our research and coordination work group. Just involved with a lot of different monitoring projects with the KGS and the USGS. So really anything water monitoring or sedimentation, I'm your guy.
Great, thank you. Lauren Campbell.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lauren Campbell, and I have just started working at the water office a little over a month ago. I graduated from KU in my undergrad in 2020 with environmental studies and math, and then I went on to do a year of grad school doing environmental assessment. So I'm really excited to be at the water office and to be a part of this meeting and to learn, as you know, just as much probably as a lot of people here about what RACs are and about what the purpose of RACs are. So yeah, I am looking forward to meeting all of you and learning more about the water office since I'm new. So yeah, that's me. Thanks, Angela.
Great, thank you. And Richard. Oh, for some reason we can't hear you, Richard. I see your mouth moving.
There we go. Maybe if I pick the microphone. Richard Rokel, I work in the hydrology and evaluation unit, do various things, some of our reservoir bathymetry, the hydrologic modeling for different water supplies, and some of the marketing and water assurance district contracts. Working on some of the Kansas River water quality stuff and some of the chloride issue there post the 2019 flood. And what else? Yeah, various things. So, some of the reservoir and river operations with the Corps of Engineers, and then Nate Westrup in our office there. So, thank you.
Great, thank you. And speaking of Nate, you're up.
Hi, everyone. And again, like TJ was saying, thank you for your service. It's a real asset to water planning and management in the state. I'm chief of hydrology and evaluation. My core duties are, I'd say, managing our surface water supplies. We have 24 federal reservoirs in the state. 15 of those are Corps of Engineers reservoirs that the water office manages water supply in. And if you ever need any information about river and reservoir management, I can be a resource. So, thanks.
Great, thank you. Katie Goff.
Hi, yes, Katie Goff. So I've been with the water office about 7 years. And so my main role is kind of our GIS coordinator. So I help organize some of our data along with Richard and Nate and Josh. So I make a lot of our maps and interactive things. So if you see any of our maps on our website. Those are usually made by me. So I also help out with the stream bank stabilization team and just working with our interagency coordinators on that. But yeah, that's me.
Great, thank you. And Katie Ingalls. Oh, you're muted, Katie.
Oh, Lord. Okay. All right. We need more coffee this morning. All right. So I'm the communications director, and anything that goes with that, as well as the events that come out of the office and help with the water authority meetings. And then also I'm fortunate from the beginning, I've been able to help with a lot of the tech farm work. So we just know that you are appreciated, every one of you. And I realized that this winter I'll be here 11 years. So yeah, I'm familiar with many of you, and then welcome to those of you who are newly appointed.
Great, thank you. Amelia.
Good morning. My name's Amelia Nell. I recently joined the water office in the springtime, and I'm a water resource planner here, and I coordinate specifically with the Kansas RAC and the Solomon Republican RAC. So just very excited to get to work with people like you all.
Thank you. Kedron.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kedron Pearson. I've been with the water office it'll be 3 years in January, so excited about that. I am the planner for the 4 Western regions as well as 2 in the Central Kansas. So I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited for everyone to be on this today, and if there's ever anything you need, please just let me know.
Great, thank you. Sarah.
Good morning. I am Sarah. I have a background in geology. I went to school out in Pennsylvania, and I have some experience working with groundwater, and I work with the Red Hills and the Equus Walnut RACs.
Awesome. And I think we have Lauren Coons on the phone. Maybe.
Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Hi, good morning. I'm Lauren Coons, and I'm the administrative specialist and HR person here at the KWO. So I'm the one that you probably get some emails from that you're like, who is this random person sending me RAC meeting information? That's me. Nice to meet you guys.
Great. Did I miss anybody? Our director, Connie Owen, also had another meeting this morning, and she also sends along her deep appreciation for everything that you do. And to give you a little background on me, I am the outreach and education lead for the Kansas Water Office, as well as the water planner for the Neosho, Meridazine, and the Verdigris. So without further ado, we will move on to, and today, this morning, it is just to give you that highlight, brief overview of things that you might encounter as a RAC member, and to kind of give you that baseline knowledge. And for some of you, and probably for many of you, just as a little reminder, as it's been a while since we've met, and it's definitely been a while since we've met in person. As with any agency, you are going to be faced with acronyms. And I know that a lot of times the acronyms can become very confusing. They are similar to other agencies' acronyms. And so please do not be shy or embarrassed about asking if somebody uses an acronym that you are unfamiliar with. please just let us know, and we'll say it out in long form. But our partner agencies that we work with through the State Water Plan Fund are here listed on the screen, just a very few of them. We obviously partner with a lot of different agencies, and we depend on them for that extra scientific knowledge and that extra outreach to all various water users in Kansas. And so, as you see on your screen, there's, I'm not going to read them to you, but you can look at them yourself, as well as there are a list of other acronyms that we typically work with and use. And it can be found in the Kansas Water Plan, which is on our website. And when this presentation is posted onto the website, there will be a link. There's a link in this slide that of the Kansas Water Plan. Now, the Kansas Water Plan, it's our guiding document for everything that we do in Kansas in regards to water issues. And moving on. So the Kansas Water Authority was established in 1981 within and as part of the Kansas Water Office. The Kansas Water Authority, they provide that leadership to ensure that water policies and the programs that they all are in place for addressing the needs of all Kansans. The Kansas Water Office was established in 1981 also, and they are the water planning, the policy, the coordination, the marketing agency for the state. And then we go to you guys. There are 14 regional advisory committees. And if some of you were on in the days of the basin advisory committees, you know that there were more and that they went through the process of more aligning the regions to the watersheds, to the basins in the eastern portion. And then in the western portion, the regions were more geared around towards the groundwater management districts. So in December of 2014 is when those 14 regional advisory committees were established, and it was all in conjunction with that long-term water vision for the state of Kansas for the future of water supply. If you look under the Kansas Water Office, they are, like I said, very integral in the water planning and implementation portion for the state of Kansas. And under that, we have the Kansas Water Authority, which we will talk about here more in a couple slides. Then also the water planning. And that's where we developed that state water plan. And many of you have been very involved in that this past year in providing feedback and reading over things. You helped establish those goals, those regional goals and action plans, updating those, and that all fits in as part of that state water plan. There's also the drought monitoring and the drought response team. And then, as you may have heard Richard and Nate talk about, there is the public water supply portion. And Nate and Richard are very involved in reservoir operations, the water marketing program, the water assurance program, as well as the access district program. So if you have any questions in regards to any of that, then Nate and Richard will be your go-to people for answers to those questions. Moving on to the Kansas Water Authority, like I mentioned before, Dawn Bueller, she is the chair of the Kansas Water Authority, and they hold meetings in various locations, except in January. It is always usually in Topeka. January is that time when the Water Authority and the regional advisory committees pair up and go and do some legislative visits. That is your opportunity to meet with legislators. It's very carefully coordinated. Katie Ingalls and many of the other staff put together some talking points for you, and you're usually paired up with a water authority member, and they schedule out a whole timeline and of appointments for you to go and meet with the legislators, and you are provided talking points as well as our water annual report that you hand to them, and it's just your opportunity to make that connection between you, our grassroots people, and a legislator, those that are making the budgetary decisions for our state water issues and supply. So that's always done in Topeka, and we like to encourage the chair to attend, definitely attend that, but also we welcome any other water or any other RAC member that is interested in joining in those conversations to definitely participate. Then in addition to all that, there are usually water authority meetings in April or May, in July and August and October, and then in December. So our December meeting will actually be December 1st, which is this Wednesday. It's going to be a virtual meeting. It'll be at 9 a.m. And you can find that meeting information on our website. But also, if you ever have any questions about any of those meetings, you may contact your planner. Your planner is your immediate go-to for any questions you have, and they can direct you to who you may need to contact after that, or they can actually make those contacts for you and get the information back to you. That way you don't have to do too much legwork. That's what your planners are there for. And also in regards to the January meeting, that has been set for January 26th and 27th in Topeka. The time, they are still working on the time that will all take place and the agenda. So be looking for that email again from Lauren Coons to come with that information, as well as from your planner. The agenda usually consists for the water authority meetings of subcommittee reports. There's usually some type of action that they take, and then there's always a lot of informational items. We really encourage the chairs to attend the water authority meetings, especially in the virtual format. But once we get back to going in a more in-person style, if they are in your area, we really like to encourage you to attend those meetings just to be able to meet and talk with the Kansas Water Authority members and have those conversations. If the chairs attend, they usually mileage is reimbursed for that. And of course, anybody is welcome to attend. Those are open meetings, but it's usually only the chairs that are reimbursed for mileage for that. But again, if the meeting happens to be in your area, you are definitely more than welcome and encouraged to attend. Now, the Kansas Water Authority, they do have some subcommittees, and the committee membership is determined by that Kansas Water Authority chair. And so there are three main committees that are under the Kansas Water Authority. That's the Public Water Supply Committee and the Budget Committee, which you can imagine the Budget Committee looks through all of the agency partners' budgets and outlines them. A lot of you have been involved in that budget feedback, and that's in the summertime, and we'll go over the timeline that you guys as RAC members have. but you do have the opportunity as a RAC member and as a RAC committee as a whole to provide your recommendations for where you see that the state water plan fund budget lining out. And then there's the RAC operations committee. And there is actually 2 RAC members that are appointed to serve on this committee, and they're appointed by the Water Authority chair. Moving on, the Kansas Water Authority, it consists of 13 voting members, and they are appointed by the governor or a legislative leadership member. And so if you look at this map, you can see that all of the Water Authority members represent key water users and entities, and they are also distributed throughout the state in a hopefully fairly even form. That way we make sure that every entity and area has a voice on the Water Authority. And then the remaining that you see at the bottom are the leaders in the agencies, and they serve as ex officio members. If you guys at any question at any time have a question, please feel free to speak up. And again, I want this to be more of a conversation, hopefully, and I want you guys to feel open to asking any questions that you might have. And again, we've got our whole team, a majority of our whole team here on the call. So now is your time to really ask those questions. And I see TJ also put in the link in the chat box, the link for the Water Authority meeting on the 1st. So thank you, TJ, for doing that. Moving on. Sometimes my controls disappear on this Zoom platform. So the Kansas Water Authority, they statutorily are within and part of the Kansas Water Office. And like I mentioned, right now, the chair is Dawn Bueller. Now, moving on to the Kansas Water Office, it was established in 1981 as the Water Planning, Policy, Coordination, and Marketing Agency for the state. And their primary statutory function as an agency is the development and implementation of the Kansas Water Plan. And that implementation of the water plan is really where we rely heavily on you as RAC members, as our grassroots people to all areas of the state. And as you know, this past year, we have been going through the redrafting of the Kansas Water Plan. It's gone through public comment phase, and now we are in the phase of taking those public comments and going through them carefully, reaching out to our agency partners and getting their input on those public comments and figuring out ways to address those public comments for possible integration into the Kansas Water Plan. And then that draft will go to the Kansas Water Authority for its final approval. And it will be in place for 5 years before we relook at it. And so that's when, during that 5 years, that's when we will be working hard and working with you to implement that water plan for our state water resources. Now, everything is defined in the Kansas statute 74-2608, and the Water Office is charged with collecting and compiling that information pertaining to climate, water, and soil as it relates to water usage throughout the state. The Kansas Water Office also develops the state plan for water resources management, the conservation, and the development of the water planning areas. And then the Kansas Water Office also establishes the guidelines as to when conditions are indicative of drought. So you will often see a drought report come out weekly from the Kansas Water Office. I am also going to ask that if Nate or TJ or Richard, if you have anything to add in relation to any of these slides, please feel free to speak up and add anything that you might have, because they are the ones that have been working with this the longest and the most. And so their knowledge on all of this is astounding. Moving on to our regional planning areas and regional advisory committees. This is the map that we have, and you all should be pretty familiar with it, of our regions. Moving on to more about you. You have been there are some of you that have been reappointed to serve for another term of 4 years. The terms are staggered. And so in another 2 years, we will have another call for membership update. And each RAC has core categories that are represented by each of you. The core categories are agriculture, at-large public, conservation and environment, industry and commerce, and public water supply. We like to always make sure that we have representatives in the RACs for those that are outlined, and that those are the key positions that we want to make sure are always filled. But also, we need the voices coming from all aspects, all water use and interest categories. And so you'll see up there some categories that maybe your RAC doesn't have, but it's in another RAC. And it just depends on your basin, your area, and what is going on in that area, what's some key interests. But again, we want all voices to come to the table. The purpose of the RACs is to advise the Kansas Water Office and the Kansas Water Authority. Again, you are our grassroots, you are our voice, you are our ambassador in everything that you represent. And so we really rely on you in identifying those water-related issues within your region. If anything is coming up, if you catch word and hear of something that you think we might need to know about, please reach out to your planner and say, hey, this thing is happening in our city commission is getting ready to meet on and discuss this topic on water. We just wondered if you were aware of it, wanted you to know. Please send that information to your planner. The more information you can supply to your planner that can help the water office and the water authority, the better informed we are. Because as you saw, we are a staff of just a handful. And so we definitely cannot possibly know what is happening in every region of the state. So we really depend on you all. The water office and the water authority depend on you in the formulation of the revisions to the Kansas Water Plan, especially with your regions. If you later on, we will be updating and really looking at the state of the resource documents for each region. And those are found on our website, and as well as the goals and the action plans, which you all updated last year. We depend on you to advise regarding the water plan implementation which, like I said, that will be getting started once the water plan gets that final vote of approval from the Water Authority. And then again, you serve as our link to the public. And we really depend on you to go out to groups and individuals and talk about our water issues and what is going on with our state water supply, whether it's quality or quantity. And then we also really depend on you to communicate that information and your concerns and issues to citizens. You are definitely our link to water management entities. Again, you're our eyes and our ears, and you're our messenger. I can't say this enough. We really depend on you. To give you a kind of glimpse into a quote unquote typical timeline for both the Water Authority and the Regional Advisory Committees. You can see it here in the first quarter. That's when we go and do those legislative visits. Again, we'll be doing that in January. We also, on the odd years, look at our RAC membership and do a drive for RAC membership. But if at any point in time, if there's a vacancy in your RAC and you have an idea or a recommendation for a person to fill that opening, please again, reach out to your planner. And that's where the RAC Operations Committee, that's where they come into play, is reviewing any applications that come forth. Also, the RAC Operations Committee reviews any messages you as a Regional Advisory Committee wish to send to the Water Authority. And we'll visit that here in a little bit. In the April and May timeframe, we always hold a webinar to start looking at that state water plan fund budget and the looking at the recommendations that will be set forth to the Water Authority that they will present to the legislature in the fall. And so we put together a webinar to kind of give you an overview as to what process you will be going through in July. Around the June-July timeframe is when you as a Regional Advisory Committee will look at that proposed water plan fund budget. And then that's when you as a RAC can offer what you recommend, what you think is of importance for your region, for your basin in regards to budgets, making sure that that line item gets funded. And that's when you can voice your thoughts. Then throughout the year, you hold meetings to gather information. A lot of the meetings you can have guest speakers, scientists, people of representing various agencies give their updates to you. And so that goes on throughout the year. And then we close out the year with the Governor's Water Conference, which it just completed. It was virtual this year, but we are very much looking forward to being in person next year in Manhattan. So moving on to a typical RAC meeting. And for those of you that have not attended a RAC meeting yet, know that the planner reaches out to the chair and the vice chair to get recommendations as to a good meeting date for the chair and vice chair to attend. And they get a broad, they get several dates of recommendations, and then you will see a doodle poll come out to you from your planner that helps the planner pick the exact date that works best for a majority of the Regional Advisory Committee members for you. So please always be checking your email, or if you have it set up where your planner calls you with those options. I know I have a couple of RAC members that I have to call and offer those meeting date options to, or send snail mail. The planners are very accommodating and are willing to work with you. We just want to know what works best for you. And so be looking for emails that come out, especially those with doodle polls. And those doodle poll is when you can pick the dates of meetings that work best for you. And then the planner will put together an agenda. The agenda will look something like this. And even once we start going to more of an in-person meeting format, we will still always offer virtual as an option. So the meeting will have the date and the time and the location, as well as your normal agenda. And the agenda always features an approval, a roll call, usually a review of the meeting notes. They are not minutes, they are notes. And so they don't need an official approval. And then there is usually a review of the previous water authority meeting. That way, if you were not able to attend, at least you get a review of it and you are kept up to date as to what happened at the last water authority meeting. And then it goes into just whatever is happening at the time that we need your feedback on. And so as you see on the example, it talks about the state water plan fund budget discussion and your recommendation. And then anything else that's going on with the Kansas Water Office or the Water Authority, as well as any guest speakers, or if you decide you want to do a tour of some feature. I know like the Neo show, when the dredging project was going on, they did a tour of the dredging project. So those things are all options to you. And that's where questions and future issues from RAC members is very important for the planner and the chair and vice chair to know what's on your mind, things of your concern that you would like more information on at the following meeting. So if you have something come to your mind of water marketing and you would like to know more about water marketing, then the planner can make those arrangements for the next meeting to have that presentation given to you. Then we always invite our agency partners to attend the RAC meetings, and they will give you an update as to what they've been doing in their area. And then it is open meetings, so the public is invited to attend and they are given an opportunity to speak up and address the RAC with anything that they might see happening in their areas.
Angela, could I ask
Yes.
a question?
Yes, you may.
I don't see anywhere that the Corps of Engineers is, I would think that they should be a very key player. And also the Nature Conservancy has a stream program. I would think that they should be represented at the RAC meetings too, or at least the Kansas Water Office.
Sure. And those two are always under the agency input. And I know that the Corps of Engineers, they are invited to attend. And so they would be under agency input, and as well as partners, any conservation partners. But if you have a group like the Nature Conservancy that you want to make sure that they get an invitation, and if you're not quite sure if they are getting the invitation, please feel free to talk to your planner and ask them, and they'll figure out what's on who's being contacted. But those are good key points, because yeah, the Nature Nature Conservancy and the Corps. They do a lot of great stream work and our reservoir work in the state. Yep, very good. Our meetings follow Robert's Rules of Order. And so when you get emails from your planner, if it relates anything to a meeting or meeting information, it is really key that you do not reply all, and that you reply only to your water planner. And if you have any other questions about how Robert's Rules of Order works, please feel free to contact me, and I would be more than happy to give you a 30-foot view of Robert's Rules of Order as to how things work, how the Rules of Order runs the meeting and helps keep it organized and flowing smoothly. So just know that we are under that. The Kansas Water Authority Committee on RAC Operations, like I mentioned before, there's 2 RAC members that are always serve on the RAC Operations. And if you at any point in time as a RAC, as a collective group, wish to send a specific pointed message to the Water Authority, you are more than welcome to, but it goes through the RAC Operations Committee. And as well, the RAC Operations Committee, they assist in vetting the membership applications that are sent forth. And they also provide recommendations to the Water Authority on any actions in regards to those messages you send and responses. And I will put TJ on the spot. TJ he oversees and helps the RAC Operations Committee with their meetings. I will ask him if there is anything of note that you all should know about them.
They're a fantastic group. The RAC Operations Committee, like Angela was saying, is chaired by Jeremiah Hobbs. And I think Fred is on here. He's one of the RAC members that serves on there. And then Lori Kuykendall is the other one, or Kuykendall is the other one that serves on there. They serve a term, just like they would. We do need to reach out and update those terms. So we're waiting until the RAC membership was set in place. So we might have a call for some people that would like to serve on the RAC Operations Committee. Jeremiah runs a very tight ship. He keeps things in order and running. So these guys, like Angela was saying, review RAC memberships that come in, all the applications that came in through the 2021 membership drive, and then any that come through any of the rest of the year. You know, like she was saying, if there's new ones that come in, they review those as well, or any of the messages. And so they go through the committee first. They develop a memo, and that memo is pushed up to the Water Authority, and then they explain their ideas behind the memo, and then the Water Authority votes on that. And so then it's passed or changed, and then it's passed. So, but that's kind of the way the RAC Operation Committee meets. Typically, there's one of those before each Water Authority meeting, unless there's no action for that committee to take. So it is a fairly active committee. So thanks, Angela.
No, thank you. You gave me a break from talking for a bit. Appreciate it. Moving on to the Kansas Water Plan. The Kansas Water Plan is used by the state of Kansas to coordinate the management and the conservation and development of our water resources in Kansas. Like I said before, it's that guiding document, and it contains recommendations on how the state can best achieve the proper use and control of our water resources. And so the draft is on our website. If you go to kwo.ks.gov, there is an actual drop-down box of the Kansas Water Plan, and you can see the draft there. Please know that we are in the process of again, putting in those public comments and polishing up that draft Kansas water plan. The implementation is maybe through legislation, funding, and focusing on agency programs, but also we really rely on you all to help us with that implementation. So how best to stay connected with the water office and the water authority? Again, your water planners who all introduce themselves, they are your first go-to if you have any question, comment, or concern. And you can see how we are laid out throughout the state. So please feel free to reach out to your planner, but also you're more than welcome to reach out to any of them and CC your planner in those communications. Also, we hope that you actively participate in the RAC meetings. Again, we need you. We need your voice. We need your thoughts. We need your ideas. And so we really rely on you when we have those RAC meetings to be very vocal about anything that you think might interest us in regards to what's happening in your areas. Definitely, please visit the Kansas Water Office events calendar. If you have any question as to what meetings are coming up, again, it's at our website, and then you go to news and events, drop down box, and click on the calendar, and you can scroll through it. On the dates, it's linked up to meeting materials and meeting information on those calendar dates. And so if you ever have any question, I know some emails slip past or get in a spam box, but know that if you ever have any questions in regards to anything coming up, it's all on our website in the calendar. Then again, please feel free and welcome to attend the Kansas Water Authority meetings, especially once we get going in person. If they happen to be in your area, that is a great time to meet all of those water authority members. We also have some social media pages, the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram that we are out there on. So please like us, follow us, any of those social media terms, and always email. And not only your planner's email, but there's also the Kansas Water Office info email. And you will see, like Lauren Coons had mentioned to you, you will see emails coming from her. And often when they are from her, they're through the Kansas Water Office info email address. And you all have your own RAC pages on the website, on the Kansas Water Office website. So please feel free to visit those pages and get to know your region a little bit better. There is the map of where your region's located, as well as a listing of other fellow RAC members in your region, what they represent, and as well as it outlines when your term is up. If you often question when your term is up or when others' term is up, it has that listed. The state of the resource document is there on your webpage that highlights some of the issues that your region might be facing, and some general information about your region. Also, there is a link to your goals and action plans that you can familiarize yourself with. If you want those goals and action plans sent to you, then please, again, contact your planner. Those were gone through last year. They were updated. So we are working on new goals and action plans. And the Kansas Water Authority had approved those. And so that's what you all are working towards right now. Again, back to acronyms. There's a lot. And again, please do not be scared to use the IDK, the I don't know acronym. And they are, this again is just a small portion of the acronyms that are used in our daily line of work. But these are a few that you might run into on a regular basis and that are involved in a lot of water conservation talk. If you would like a list of the acronyms sent to you, again, those can be sent to you. And with that, it's been almost an hour, so I apologize on my half-hour guesstimate, but I definitely do not want to take up any more of your day, but I do welcome questions. And if you have questions for any of our office staff that is still on the line, please feel free to unmute and ask your questions. Otherwise, I thank you for today. And again, this recording will be posted onto our website. And please know that, yeah, we've said it, a handful of times already here, but we really do appreciate you all. We could not do this without you. Are there any questions? Did I miss anything that any of the staff, did I miss anything that you think needs to be brought up before the group? TJ?
Hey, I just wanted to throw it in here. There's a whole pile of thanks coming into you, and I want to thank you as well too for putting this on. I really appreciate it, and the great thanks goes to you guys as RAC members. Like Angela said multiple times, it's you guys we lean on. You guys are the most important cog in the wheel, and we really appreciate you guys being out there and dealing with water issues every single day. So thank you guys.
All right. Any last questions? If not, you guys will all be hearing from your planner soon, I am sure, because we are ready to get going on a new year. And so with that, I wish you all a good day. Happy holidays, and I hope to see you all soon, and maybe we'll see you in January in Topeka. Thank you.